Welcome back to another episode of Books and Bites, where we take a deep dive into captivating literature. Today we're exploring the extraordinary life of Malcolm X as told in his autobiography.
Malcolm X's journey is, it's a powerful testament to the potential for human transformation. From a troubled childhood to his rise as a prominent figure in the fight for racial justice, his story offers timeless lessons about self-discovery and the struggle for equality.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Ah,
His life was marked by dramatic shifts. Going from a street hustler to a fiery minister to a human rights advocate, we'll uncover the events and influences that shaped his thinking, giving you a glimpse into the evolution of his beliefs and how his experiences really forged his path.
absolutely. And to understand that evolution, we need to go back to his childhood. Malcolm X's early life was deeply impacted by racism. His father, a supporter of black nationalism, was likely murdered by white supremacists when Malcolm was just a child. This early exposure to violence and injustice fueled his anger and distrust of white society, laying the groundwork for his later activism.
It's heartbreaking to think about the impact this had on him at such a young age. His mother struggled financially and was eventually institutionalized, leaving Malcolm and his siblings in foster care. It's like life just kept throwing punches at him.
It certainly was a difficult upbringing, and sadly it led him down a troubled path. He drifted into a life of crime in Boston and Harlem, even adopting the street name Detroit Red. But even during these years, he was developing a keen understanding of the systemic oppression faced by black people in urban environments. These experiences, though negative, provided him with a unique perspective on the world, a perspective that would later inform his powerful message.
So he goes from this life of crime straight into prison for burglary. That sounds like rock bottom. Was this the turning point everyone talks about?
It absolutely was. This is where things take a dramatic turn. His siblings introduced him to the Nation of Islam while he was behind bars, sparking a profound intellectual and spiritual awakening. He devoured books, embraced Islam, and even changed his name to Malcolm X, symbolizing his lost African heritage.
Wow. It sounds like prison was less of a punishment and more like a university for him. What was it about the Nation of Islam that resonated so deeply with him?
The Nation of Islam offered a message of black pride, self-reliance, and separation from white society. It provided a framework for understanding the racism and oppression he had experienced throughout his life and empowered him to fight for change. It was during this period that he truly found his voice.
And what a powerful voice it was. Upon his release, Malcolm X quickly rose within the Nation of Islam, becoming a charismatic leader and spokesperson. He established new mosques, recruited thousands of black Americans, and his speeches, often critical of white America, drew both admiration and controversy. He was a force to be reckoned with.
He challenged the status quo and demanded justice for his people. His approach differed greatly from that of civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who advocated for integration. Malcolm X, at least at this point in his life, believed that separation from white society was the only way for black people to achieve true equality.
So he goes from Detroit Red to Malcolm X, the fiery minister. It's a complete 180. But, as we'll see, even this wasn't his final form. His story reminds us that our beliefs can evolve as we encounter new experiences and challenges.
Exactly. And Malcolm X's story is a perfect example of this. His break with the Nation of Islam marked another turning point in his life, leading him to embrace a more inclusive vision of racial justice. But we'll delve into that in the next part of our deep dive. So his disillusionment, it kind of started when he uncovered some troubling information about the Nation of Islam's leader, Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, and this led to a dramatic break. And then he even formed his own organizations focused on black empowerment. But you mentioned something about a pilgrimage to Mecca. How did that fit into all of this?
Yeah. The pilgrimage to Mecca, well, it was maybe the most pivotal moment in his transformation. Witnessing Muslims of all races just, worshiping together. It kind of shattered his previous belief about racial separation. He returned with this, newfound understanding of Islam as a universal religion, one that transcended race and nationality. It was a profound experience, really changed him deeply.
So this trip to Mecca, really opened his eyes, huh? To a bigger picture. It seems like he was constantly learning and evolving his thinking, that's pretty remarkable.
Absolutely. He was incredibly intellectually curious, always willing to challenge his own beliefs. This openness to new ideas, it led him to renounce racial hatred and embrace a broader vision of human rights.
Okay.
He took the name El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz and began working with civil rights leaders. who had once been, his adversaries.
So just a few years after, calling for separation, he's now working with these civil rights leaders. What prompted such a, I mean, that's a dramatic shift in his thinking.
His experiences, his travels, and his continued study of Islam, it all kind of contributed to his evolving worldview. He realized that the fight for justice couldn't be limited to just one race or one group. It had to be a fight for all humanity. He began to see the interconnectedness of struggles against oppression, and he recognized the need for solidarity across racial and cultural lines.
That's a powerful realization, and it speaks to his courage, I think, to admit when he was wrong and to change his course. That's a lesson I think we could all learn from.
Absolutely. It's a testament to his integrity and his commitment to the truth, even when it meant challenging his own, deeply held beliefs.
Sadly, though, his life was cut short just as he was entering this new phase of his journey.
In 1965, he was assassinated while delivering a speech in New York City, likely by members of the Nation of Islam, actually, who saw him as a traitor.
Wow.
Yeah.
His death, solidified his status, I think, as a martyr for racial justice. But it also robbed the world of a powerful voice for change.
Despite his, relatively short life, Malcolm X left behind a legacy that continues to inspire generations of activists and thinkers.
His autobiography offers a window into his incredible transformation, providing valuable insights into the struggle for racial equality and the power of self-discovery.
It's a must-read, really, for anyone interested in understanding the complexities of race, religion, and social justice in America.
The story reminds us that growth and evolution are possible, even in the face of adversity, and that true change requires courage, conviction, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Malcolm X's journey is a testament to the human capacity for transformation, and a reminder that the fight for justice requires constant vigilance and a commitment to challenging injustice wherever it exists. His story is a beacon of hope, really, and a call to action for all of us.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about how much ground we've covered, And in just one deep dive, we went from Malcolm Little, the troubled youth, to Detroit Red, the street hustler, to Malcolm X, the fiery minister, and finally to El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, the human rights advocate. It's we witnessed a whole lifetime, of transformation, and all in just a few minutes.
It really is a testament, I think, to the complexity of his journey and the depth of his evolution. He was never, content to just remain stagnant. He was constantly seeking knowledge, challenging his own beliefs, and pushing himself to grow. His story it's a good reminder that we are all capable of change, and that our past doesn't define our future.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder. What else he could have accomplished if his life hadn't been cut short. He was only 39 when he was assassinated. It's a tragedy that we lost such a brilliant mind and a powerful voice for justice so soon.
Yeah. It's impossible to know, really, what he might have achieved. But his legacy, it continues to inspire and challenge us to this day. Even his autobiography is it's a timeless work, really, that offers profound insights, I think, into the struggle for really racial equality, the power of self-education, and the importance of challenging injustice wherever we see it.
So what's the one takeaway you think you want listeners to walk away with after this deep dive into Malcolm X's life?
I think the most important lesson is that we should never stop learning and growing. Malcolm X's journey, it was marked by constant evolution. He was never afraid to question his beliefs or to admit when he was wrong and embrace these new ideas. That's a pretty powerful message for all of us, I think, in a world that often demands conformity and blind allegiance.
It's a reminder that true growth requires courage and humility. And a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones, just like Malcolm X did throughout his extraordinary life.
Exactly, and his story, it shows us, that even in the face of adversity and oppression, we have the power to transform ourselves and the world around us.
Well said. I think that's the perfect note to end on. So to our listeners, we encourage you to grab a copy of the Autobiography of Malcolm X. You can use the link in the description and delve deeper into this captivating story. It's a journey you won't soon forget. And don't forget to subscribe to Books and Bites for more insightful deep dives. We'll see you next time.